empa re boetse re ithuta mekgwa e metjha ya ho tswella ka tshebetso. Re ile ra qobelleha ho thakgola mekgwa tshebetso ya tshohanyetso ya kantle ho dibaka tsa rona tsa tshebetso hanghang. Sena sona se ile sa pepesa phumano le phihlello ya disebediswa tsa digitale le internet. Ho ba le sebaka se kgutsitseng moo o ka sebetsang, mme ra boela ra tobana le qholotso ya lekgwekhwe lena la ho se lekane. Ka re bohareng ba sehla sa tsamaiso ena ya jwale, re keteka mawala le mekutu e entsweng sektareng ya thuto ya mantlha ho ntlafatseng ditholwana tse kgolwang thuto. Ha re ntse re hahamalla pheletso ho ya tsamaiso ya botshelela, the 6th administration, re entse tlhokeho ya ho potlakisa kgatelo phihlelong ya tseo re itlammeng ho di phetha. Re fela re le sedi ka diqholotso tse tobileng sektara ena tse mpefatswang hape ke kgahlamelo ya COVID-19. Tsena di kenyelletsa dintlha tsa tahleho ya nako ya dithutong, ntlafatso ya thekolohelo le tshehetso, boleng le boqhetseke mmoho le ho bopa mekgwa tshebetso ya rona hore e fihlele ditlhoko tsa mongwahakgolo wa 21, jwale ka re le lepatlelong la 4th Industrial Revolution, mmoho le menyetla le diqholotso tsa yona tse ngata. Ka hona tekanyetso kabo ya 2022-23 e tla nka sehloho sena se reng ke a tlotsa ho abela barutwana tsebo le bokgoni ba tshebetso bakeng sa lefatshe le ntseng le fetoha maemong a COVID-19. Ke a kwala ke a qetsolla. Puong ya hae ya ho kwala sebae, mme e le lekgotleng la sektara ya thuto ya motheo 2022 le kopane Pherekgong, letona la thuto ya motheo Mohlomphehi Angie Motshekga o ile a ipiletsa ho baamehi bohle ho tsa thuto ho sebetsa mmoho le ho itjhorisa le ho tshepisa sektara ena hore e be thebe kgahlano le sewa sefe kapa sefe la e ka ba diqholotso tse kgahlamelo empe bophelong tseo re tla kopana le tsona ka moso. Matla le bokgoni ba ho tjhorisa thuto ya ka hare ho rona bohle, katleho tsa rona di itshetlehile hodima bahlanka bohle ba lefapha, matitjhere, mekgatlo ya mesebetsi, barutwana, batswadi, di-SGB, mekgatlo ya sedumedi, dikgwebo le setjhaba se itellang leano le boleng ba thuto. Diketsahalo tsa morao tjena tsa bonkwapo le dikgoka, kgethollo ka mmala, merusu le boitshwaro bo sa amohelehang dikolong tsa rona ha di nyenyefatse fela makgabane le metheo ya melaotheo le mekutu e entsweng malebana le phedisano le kaho ya setjhaba, empa di boetse di rekitlisa moelelo wa boleng ba thuto. Kgale ke sa ba le Sesotho ka sokola nyane mo tlameng ke se bana. Kgwedi e fetileng re ile ra tlhagola letsholo la kgahlano le bonkwapo e leng bullying le dikgoka hammoho le kgethollo dikolong tsa rona. Mona re leka ho theha dikolo tse sireletsehileng tse kgothalletsang tlhompho ya ditokelo tsa botho, tshehetso e felletseng ya tlhabollo ya morutwana le ho phehisa hodima tlhabollo ya boitshwaro setjhabeng, ya botjhaba, ya sepolotiki le ya moruo wa naha ka kakaretso. Sepheo sa letsholo lena hape ke ho aha batjha ba tla kgutlisa makgabane a botho, ubuntu, dikolong tsa rona le metseng ya rona, ka ho kgothalletsa kananelo ya seriti le tlhompho ya motho, ho eletsa marako a re arohanyang, mme re itshetlehile ka maano a toka, bongwe le poelano, re tiisetse phedisano le moya wa kamohelano. Modulasetulo, re motlotlo ho phatlalatsa hore mokgatlo wa boraro wa letsholo la presidente la khiro ya batjha ka hara sektara ena ya thuto ya motheo le se le ile la qala ka pele kgweding ya Mmesa 2022. Project ena e tla tswela ka sehlopha sa jwale sa batjha ba mokgahlelo wa bobedi ho fihlela ditlhoko tsa projeke. Jwale ka le tseba mokgahlelo wa bobedi wa letsholo lena kwano provinceng o ne o ile wa kenngwa tshebetsong ka Pudungwana 2021. Lefapha la Thuto la Freistata le se le hirile matitjhere a thusetsang le EAs le di general assistants basebetsi ba tlatsetso dikolong tsa ka kakaretso, and re hirile matitjhere ana a tshehetsang a 15,309. Le ha letsholo lena le sekametse ho tsa thuto, maikamisetso a sehlohlolo a lona ke ho aba menyetla ya mesebetsi ho batjha ba dilemong tse 18 ho fihla 35, le ho baballa dikgeo tsa di-SGB dikolong tse lefellwang le dikgeo tse dikolong tse ikemisetseng tsa tshehetswang ka ditjhelete tsa mmuso. Makgahlelong wa pele ebile bakopi ba 114 ba ileng ba tjhaelwa monwana ka ho boloka mesebetsi dikolong tse ikemetseng tse 28 independent schools, tse pedi tsa mmuso tsa ditlhoko tsa kgethilweng public special schools tse 25 le tsa quintile 1 to 3 tse 59. Ke mesebetsi e ballwang ka 1472 e ileng ya bolokwa ke letsholo lena la mopresidente wa rona wa naha. Motsemesi wa dipuisano di-SGB di kgethwa ho latela maano a democracy, di thehilwe ka batswadi ba baithuti, mesuwehlooho, matitjhere, basebetsi bao e seng matitjhere, barutwana ba sehlopha sa borobedi le tse ka hodimo, ho mmoho le ditho tse tla thaothelwa botho. Sepheo ke ho netefatsa hore dikolo di tsamaiswa ka bokgabane le ka tshebedisano mmoho ho aha tshebetso e nang le boleng ho tsa thuto. Ka 2021 re atlehile ho tsamaisa dikgetho tsa di-SGB dikolong tsohle tsa mmuso ka hare ho province ya Freistata. Ditho tse ntjha tse ileng tsa kgethwa di ile tsa hlomamiswa ho phetha merero e le boikarabelo ba tsona jwale ka ho hlaloswa ke karolo ya 19 ya molao wa dikolo wa Afrika Borwa, South African Schools Act. Tsebo le kutlwisiso ya di-SGB mererong le maikarabelong a tsona le mofuta wa thupello o abelwang e hlokolotse haholo tshebetsong ya tsona. Selemong sa ditjhelete sa 2022-2023 Re tla rupella di-SGB kaofela tse dikolong tsa setjhaba. Thupello e tla tsepamiswa ho tse latelang. Ha ke qolla fela tse mmalwa, e tla ba maano a laolwang ke South African Schools Act, maano a tliswang ke South African Schools Act, dikopano tsa di-SGB le dikomiti tsa tsona, paballo le phumantsho ya thepa, managing of school assets, tlhophiso le bolaodi ba ditjhelete, financial management, seabo sa di-SGB tshehetsong ya phumantsho ya lenanethuto, curriculum support, le ho thaothwa ha basebetsi le kgetho ya bona. Re ipitsa ho dikolo tsohle tsa province ho ba le seabo meketeng ya phehisano ya dihlopha tsa mmino. Mona re bua ka taba ena e qadile ka yona speaker, re ko lebohe ka ho fa bana ba rona ka jeno monyatlanyana wa hore ba bine. Empa lemong sena he re tla kgukela mane ho taba ena ya competition e leng Statford, Saske at Statford. Re ipitsetsa ho dikolo tsohle tsa province ho ba le seabo moketeng wa phehisano ya dihlopha tsa mmino wa dinoto dikolong tsa Afrika Borwa. Letsatsi la ho kwallwa ha diforum tsa dikopo tsa ho kenela diphetiso ke diterekeng ke la di 11 Mesa 2022. Diphehisano tsena di tsitlallela ho phahamisa mmino wa dinoto dikolong tse tlase tsa primary le tse mahareng le tse phahameng tsa di-secondary le tsa mapolasing. Hape ke maikemisetso ho sibula talente e ipatileng le hona ho tulla menyetla mesebetsing ya mmino. Jwale ke ha re bone hore Black Coffee ko fumane Grammy Awards, a South African dominating a world stage. Diphehisano tsena di tla busetsa di thehe le ho tlotla tlwaelo ya ho ithuta le ho ruta dikolong tsa rona ka phehisano ya mmino wa dikolo o hlophisitsweng ya tsamaiswang le ho hokahanywa ka bokgabane. Diphehisano tsa Saske tsa province di tla tshwarwa ka Motsheanong moo dihlopha tse itshupileng tsa ditereke di tla qotisana lehlokwa bakeng la tlholo ya boemo ba province, mme ka morao ebe kemedi ya province boemong ba naha. Dikabelo tsa selemo sena modulasetulo, motsamaisi wa diphehisano Lefapha la Thuto la Freistata, kabelo ya lona selemong sa ditjhelete sa 2022-2023 ke 17.293 billion. Selemong sa ditjhelete sa 2021-2022 ditekanyetso e ne e le 16.2 billion. So ena e bontsha hore na le kekeletso ya 6.2%. Ha re bua taba tsena tsa di-ECD, motsamaisi wa dipuisano a nke ke sebedise sethala sena ho beha baahi ba Freistata sehlohlolong ka ditaba mabapi le ho tloswa ha boikarabelo ba di-ECD ho tloha lefapheng la ntshetsopele ya setjhaba ho tloswa lefapheng la thuto ya motheo, e leng se etsahetseng ho tloha ka la di-1 tsa Mmesa, 1st of April. Summiting ya province ya morao tjena e mabapi le ho fetolwa ha boikarabelo ba di-ECD e bileng kwano Bloemfontein ka la 24 Hlakubele 2022. Nna le letona la thuto nna le letona la province me Kabati nna ke le letona la thuto la province ke amohetse boikarabelo bohle ba di-ECD semmuso ka morolo o moholo. Nna ke le letona la thuto la education ke ba amohetse ka morolo o moholo, mme bona botla mme bohlokwa bona bo hlahela ho karolo ya bohlano le karolo ya botshelela ya molao o mabapi le bana, Children's Act, molao wa nomoro 38 2005, ho tswa ho mphato wa ho la ntshetsopele ya setjhaba mohlomphehi Letona Qabati. Motsamaisi wa dipisano, koto ya ho tlosa boikarabelo ba di-ECD lefapheng la ntshetsopele ya setjhaba ho tla lefapheng la thuto ho itshetlehile hodima dikgothaletso tsa seboka sa bohlano sa naha sa maano sa African National Congress se ne se tshwerwe ka 2017. Ebile sebokeng sena mo mokgatlo o busang o ile wa hatella boitlamo ba ona wa ho ntlafatsa maphelo a ma-Afrika Borwa ka thuto. Boitlamo bona bo boetse bo totobatswa nakong ya puo ya boemo ba naha ya President Cyril Ramaphosa ka 2019 ha ne a tsebisa hore ha o moqotsa o itse re aile motheo o tsitsitseng bakeng sa lenaneo la di-ECD le batsi leo e leng karolo e bohlokwa ya mokgwatshebetso wa thuto, mme re tla e fetisetsa boikarabelo ba di-ECD tsa rona ho tswa ho lefapha la ntshetsopele ho ya setjhaba ho tla lefapheng la thuto ya motheo le ho tswella ka thuto e tlamang ya dilemo tse 2 ho di-ECD bakeng la bana ba rona bohle pele ba qala sekolo dithuto tsa rona tsa sehlopha sa pele, se bolelang taba ya hore ngwana o mong le o mong pele a ya grade 1 tlame a ba kene sekolo lemong tse 2 ke mopresidente a tshonjwang. Botebong ba phetiso ena ya boikarabelo bona ke ho tjhorisa sektara ena ya thuto ho e beha sehlohlolong tshekatshekong ya diqholoso tsa rona tse tharo e leng bofuma, ho se lekalekane le leqeme la mesebetsi. Sena se tla fihlellwa ka ho aba thuto ya motheo e nang le boleng ho tloha tlhahong ho isa dilemong tse 4 e leng se itshetlehileng hodima maano a thuto dipapading, play-based education. Ndulasetulo phetisong ena ya boikarabelo ho bile le ditsi tsa di-ECD tse 1345 tse tsheheditsweng ka ditjhelete ka hare ho Freistata tse tlositsweng lefapheng la ntshetsopele ya setjhaba ho tlaola thuto. Bahlanka ba ka bang 64 ba kenyeletsang basebetsi ba setjhaba, social workers, basebetsi ba tlatsetso ba setjhaba, auxiliary social workers, le boratekhniki ba meralo ya ditshebetso le basebetsi ba tsamaiso ba ile ba fetisetswa lefapheng lena la thuto mme ba amohetswe ka mofuthu o moholo. Ho latela karolo ya 33 molao wa tsamaiso ya ditjhelete tsa setjhaba le PFMA moo boikarabelo bo fapanyetswanang teng pakeng tsa mafapha, matlole kapa mehlodi ya tshebetso e tlameha ho latela. Re tla tlisa hore sena se etswa hore ho phethelwe taba ya ho fetiswa ha boikarabelo bona ba di-ECD. Lefapha la motheo le tla jara boikarabelo ba ho fella tshehetso ya ditjhelete ka tsela e tshwanang hantle le ya lefapha la ntshetsopele ya setjhaba. Dilemong tse 2 tse latelang re tla boela re lekola potjha tshehetso tsa ditjhelete ho hlwaya hore ana e sentse e le motjha o nepahetseng wa tshehetso mananeo ao a ECD. Ka mantswe a mang, the next 2 years we will check whether the funding model still works, MEC finance. Re le mafapha ka bobedi la thuto le ntshetsopele ya setjhaba re tlametse ho netefatsa hore phetiso ena ya boikarabelo bona e etsahale ntle le ditshita ka bong ya ditshebeletso tsa ECD ka hare ho province ya rona. Hobane bana ba rona bohle ba tshwanelwa ke lerato, ke hlokomelo le ke di-ECD tse nang le boleng. Ditsi tsohle tsa di-ECD di tlameha ho kenywa tshebetsong ho ya ka moo lefapha le lebelletseng ka teng. Motsamaiso wa dipuisano, phetiso ena ya di-ECD e re abela monyetla ho betla le ho kenya tshebetsong mekgwa tshebediso ka mantswe a mang curriculum e metjha ya ho matlafatsa barutwana ba rona ho tloha sethatong re tsepame motjheng wa ho tloha tlhahong ho isa grading tse ko tlase. Ho fihlela mona selemong sa ditjhelete sa 2022-2023 tjhelete e kalo ka 3 million e beetswe ka thoko bakeng sa ho kwetlisa basebetsi ba grade tse pele ho grade R. Ka mantswe a mang re bile 300 million rand e tla trainer matitjhere a pre-grade R, the caregivers and the ACD practitioners. E ka ba basebetsi ba grade tse pele ho grade R ba ka bang sekete ba tla rupellwa ho curriculum ya rona. Re tla boela re aba ditokomane tsa curriculum ena ho basebetsi ba ka ba 2,500. Ka mantswe a mang ho tloha ka jeno re batla hore bana ba rona ba tleng ba dikolong ba rute ho ya ka curriculum eo dumelaneng ka yona e ska ba eat slap fela. Sehlopha se seng sa basebetsi sa ba ka bang sekete se tla rupellwa tshebedisong ya di-library tsa dipapadiswa, toy libraries, ho netefatsa hore bana ba ithuta dipapading, bana tleng ba rute ha ba ntse ba bapala. E ka ba ditsi se ka bang 200 se tla fumana dipapadiswa tsena tsa thuto. Ka hodima mona ke basebetsi ba 200 ba grade tsa pele ho grade ya R ba tswang diterekeng tsa motheo Garib le Thabo Mfusanyane ba tla rupellwang ho fihla lengolo lena la NQF level 4. Re buile mena mme ke re bua le bona hore re ke ga lela ka matitjhere e nngwe le nngwe e tlamane ya ECD e tla fuwa monyetla hore e rutuwe e be titjhere e felletseng. Le bana ba sena matric ba tla rutuwa hore ba fihlele taba ena ya NQF level 4. Grade R selemo sena sa ditjhelete matlole bakeng sa grade R dikolong tsa setjhaba le ditsi tsa di-ECD a etsa 294 million rands. And then the ECD money it was spent at 12.012 million. So it does sebediswa mono ho supporta di grade R. Dikabo tsena di tla sebediswa ho ntlafatsa le ho potlakisa ho tshwana ha grade ya R ka hare ho province. Ka mantswe a mang re tlo sebedisa tjhelete ena hore batho ba rutwang grade R dikolong le ba rutwang grade R di-centering ba rutwe ntho e tshwanang. Se ke le ga ba le di-problem tse tsa hore bana ha ba fihla grade 1 ha ba so tsebe lo ba longong. Re tla tsepamisa maikutlo a rona kgodisong ya boitsebelo ba matitjhere sectoreng ena ka tsela tse latelang. Boitjhoriso ba basebetsi ba grade R ba 300 le ho hira basebeletsi ba tlatsetso ba 290 ba na le mangolo a ka botlalo. Re batla ho bua fela taba ya hore matitjhere a rona a grade R le ba le dikolong tsa rona ba bona ba sebele ba ithuta ba fumana di-B.Ed se le ba se bana le Bachelor of Education. Jwale ba jwalo he re tla ba nka re ba kenye dikolong ba kgole jwale ka matitjhere. Thupelo ya matitjhere a sekete a grade R dikateng tsa thuto tsebo le metjha ya thuto lo ba ruta tsela ya ho ruta tse 90 le grade R ba tse e kantle ho diphapusi ke bo dikolong tsa rona ha ho di primary hona le mezwinki nyana ka ntle ka mo so re tloetsa rape ne re eketse program ena hore bana ba rona ba ne ba develop small motors ha ba ntse ba bapalla mono ba na ba matla ba tsebo tshwara pene na ba sa tsebo tshwara pene tshwara tshware thipa motsamaiso wa dipuisano selemo sena sa 2022 ha re sheba grading ena ya 1-7 re ipetse ho fihlela tse latelang grading ya 1 to 3 re batla hore bana ba kgone ho pasa kaofela so target is to make sure bana ba rona ba pasa kaofela in grade 1 to grade 3 and ba fumane palohare e ka bang 75 grading tse tloang 4 to 7 re batla bana ho thwe re hlolehile at least 95% ya bana e pase kaofela palohareng bona ba 20%. Ke batla le speaker ho labalabela le hore bana ba rona ba foundation phase re leke bonnete ba hore class tsa foundation phase se ra fumana class professing ya Freestata mo fumana hore class e le nngwe ina le bana ba fetang 30 because ha teacher e thusa bana ba 40 it means ha khone ho fihlela bana ba kaofela so le re dumelana re le fapa rona ke target ne re lance re be re fumana ena re ke kopa le committee hore re le lekise ka morao fihlela be re fumana tabena hore there must be fewer than 30 kids in at least in foundation phase mekutunya rona ya fihlela memedi e re ipetseng yona lo abela barutwana ba grade 1 to 7 ka tsebo bokgoni le ba tshehetso le kutlwisiso ya lefatshe ntshetsong ya le lo fetoha ka baka la COVID-19 merero e latelang ya ho kena dipakeng e tla kenngwa tshebetsong selemong sa ditjhelete sa 2022-2023 matitjhere a 440 a grade 1 to 3 ba tla rupellwa ka tsa puo tsebo ya dikateng le thuto le ho bala the reading campaign baithuti ba grade 4 to 7 ba tla abelwa dikgatiso tse 4 tsa pokelletso e bitswang read a lot dikolo tse 13 tseo ha jwale di etelletsweng pele tshebediso ya bukana ya dikolo tse 13 tseo ha jwale di etelletseng pele tshebediso ya bukana ya tsa ho bala tsa se Afrika Borwa African Reading Manual ho hlabolla mangolo a nang le boikapelo lo bala ka kutlwisiso matitjhere a 500 a grade 1 to 3 ba tla rupellwa ho tsa fraction tools 10 frames disebediswa tse jwalo ka Lego bricks blocks and 10 frames ha mole tse thusang bana ka thuto ya mathematics re batla bana ba rona ba tsebe ho counta ba sa le banyenyana ba tla fuwa dikolo tse class tse ka bang 46 molemong wa bana ba grade R to 3 tshehetso ya hloho tse 100 tsa thuto ya mathematics thuto ya mahlale le technology ho tsa tsamaiso ya dithuto tsa ka boetapele thuto le boetapele kabo ya di-laboratory tsa thuto ya mahlale bakeng sa dikolo tse tlase tse 180 ka mantswe a mangata bana le mobile labs for bana ba rona ba dikolo tse ka bang 180 re betse le kemiseditse ho tshwarwa mokete wa province wa bompudi ba mental maths le puo language ka Lwetse 2022 mo teng baithuti ba grade 3 le grade tse ding ba ditereke tsohle ba tla bapatsang bokgoni ba bona ba ho bala le ho ngola le dipalo le ka ho phehisa tsa poqupsa ka pudiso spelling bee ho ngolwa ha dibuka tsa dipale ho qoqa ditshomo le dipale le tsohle tse re buileng ka tsona bo mental mathematics lenaneo la bohwebi khiro le thuto e shebaneng le ho abela barutwana tsebo ya tshebetso e hlokehang bokamosong ba mesebetsi e tla kenywa tshebetsong dikolong tse ka bang 70 tse tlase le 60 tse phahameng ke program ena re ke bitse ka sekgowa because ke nana ka e beha hantle ka Sesotho e bitswang 3 cubed e means entrepreneurship, employability and education. So this is a new program that we'll be introducing in our schools to ensure that even at primary school level, our children start learning about those issues that could give them skills of the 22nd or 21st century. Tekolo ya ho lena le bitswang ELNA. Tekolo dithuto tsa motheo ya naha e leng ELNA e tla tsamaiswa ho tloha 11 Mesa ho isa mane ho tloha 11 Mesa ho isa ka di 13 Motsheanong 2022 creating ya pele ena e emela taba e le ya khale e ne bitso ana so ho tlo ntshwa program e ntjha e tla bitswang ELNA e tla iswa creating ya pele sepheo sa ELNA ke ho netefatsa hore barutwana ba create ya pele ba malalalaotswe ene ba lokile for dikolo ELNA e fana ka lesedi ka barutwana ba tswang ho di-ECD ke ka ho tabana hore di-ECD tle ho rona e tlo thusa ho lekola hore ho entse mosebetsi o mokae ho ba lokisetsa grade 1 jwale ka ha e le selemo sa bona sa pele sekolong dilemong tse mmalwa tse fetileng re ne re ile ra nka boikatlaetso ba ho tsebahatsa lenaneo la ho abela barutwana ka tsebo le bokgoni ba mongwagakgolo ona wa 21 le hore ba ithute sohle tse amanang le bokgoni ba ka ho ipulela dikgwebo tsena di kenyelletsa ho sibollwa le lenanethuto le itshitlehileng hodima bokgoni ho lekwa ha thuto tsa setekgeniki le maemo a mesebetsi tse hlahelang ho ntho se re bitsang 3-stream model ho ralwa ka moralo wa boitjhoriso ba mokgwa tshebetso wa thuto ho ingokela tse ntle tsa ICT le meralo e kopanetsweng ya boithuti ho netefatsa hore sephetho se tshwanetseng se a fihlellwa le ho ntlafatswa la ho le jwalo sitiso tsamaiso e tlwaelehileng ya sekolo phapanyetso ya diphapusi le ho ithuta tlasa maemo a COVID-19 ho tlisitse diqholotso tse di dithibella ho qetweng ha lenanethuto curriculum tahleho ya nako le ho ithuta ka bophelo bo botle ba matitjhere le barutwana bo hlokang ho sekasekwa ka ditharollo tse ntjha tsa mehleng ena Speaker ke a bona ka nako ya ka insile re ke summarize re ke bua hanyane speaker taba ena ya certificate sena se tla bitswang sa general education certificate se tla introduce certificate sa general education certificate dikolo tse itseng tse mmalwa professing ya Freistata bana ba grade 9 ba tla ngola general education certificate sena ho bolele hore bana sekolo se tofella ka grade 9 se bolela fela hore ha o fitla grade 9 because o tlo boya FET side tlamme o ngole di subjects tse tla o thusang o nke qeto ya hore wena o batla ya streaming se feng sa o tswela pele ne ke batla pele o bontsha fela hore taba ena ya technical vocational ha o le technical schools hona le research e entsuweng ke University of Stellenbosch e bontshang hore bana ba batho ba batsho only 8% ba bona bana le subject ya technical ha o sheba bana ba makgowa kapa dikolong tse leng tsa makgowa bana ba 56% bana le technical subject so re tlameha re bonnete ba hore bana ba rona ba bere tsona di technical schools tseno Lena taba ena ya engineering, graphic and design, le computer application technology. How we share batla fumana ke subjects e leng siyo dikolong tsa rona tse re batlang ho di introduce. Re batla lo tsebisa taba ena ya technical occupational. Ntho tse tla etsang hore bana, di subjects tse tla etsang hore bana ba tswa sekolong ba kgone ho iphumanela mosebetsi. O ska fumana hore bana ba rona o qeta grade 12 ha qeta ke hona yang TVET colleges. Ene ko kwalla bana ba tleng ba ile TVET colleges ba ba kwalletse mesebetsi. Ke ka ho he re nkileng qeto ya hore mo dikolo tse di hlwaileng hore ha ba sheba bana grade 8 le grade 9 man ba tla ba fetula some of the subjects tse tshwana le bo EMS, bo creative arts and so on. Ba tla ba kenye di subjects tse tshwana le bo civil technology, electrical technology le mechanical technology. So like out we see ngwana ha etsa mechanical technology from grade 8 to grade 12. By the time I fitla grade 12, o tla ba le hlwahlwa ho lokisa engine ya koloi. Ne re bua hape taba ena ya coding robotics. Re batla re tsebe le bana ba rona dikolo tse ka bang 111 tsa di primary. Re sa re ba file di computer, di laptop rono. Re kala thuto ena ya coding. Ntho e monate ke e boneng gore taba ena coding ha ya tlameha ka le kgale. Bana ba ntse ba le banyenyane ena class ngone ke attendile ka weekend ngwana wa grade 6 I mean was 6 years old o sentse a tseba ho coder ka di programs tsa bona tsa bana ba banyenyane. Re batla lo sebetsa monyetla ona ho leba matitjhere a rona ka tshebetso e ntle e re bileng le yona ho National Teaching Awards. Matitjhere a latelang me Nhlanipo Lindo Kuhle le seding kosi ba hlahamane o ke ngwana mme e ke ngwana a hlahamane Tlotlanang Secondary School o ile a fumana kgau ya morutwana ya hlwahlwa ya naha ka bophara. The best learner in the whole of South Africa came from Tabanchu. Mane ha sheba boiphihlelo bo boholo ba ruteng grade R le teng Freestata la tswa number 1 men neheng Thamai ya hlahamane Meqheleng sekolong sane Meqheleng primary school ila bana a tshwereng naha kaofela le bo Western Cape ba teng ba shapuwe he mo le boipabolong bona ba ruta physical science.
Your time is up, Honorable Emisi.
Thank you so much.
Honorable members, in accordance to the dictate of our debate list, I will call upon the chair of the committee, Honorable Smith, to address the House for 13 minutes.
Honorable Chair of Chairs, all the guests, the executive members, the members of the House, I will sin if I not first, before I start, thank our translators at the back, because without them I would not have understood. So I thank you, and I'm sure there's others of us. And thank you for your speech, Honorable MEC. I greet our parents, our principals, teachers, and learners, the school governing bodies, and all legislature staff present. Honorable Chair of Chairs, when I sit quietly at my runaway spot and think back to the last year of 2021, on education, I then again realized the enormous task the Department of Education faced during the period of the stressful COVID-19 pandemic. And from the start, I want to thank those teachers who have showed the courage to bring us where we are, on top. Our performances outranked those of other provinces. People of the Cheetah province, I assure you, the department is working with a top spot like a carrot swinging before them in their minds. COVID-19 has dealt the education system in this country a serious blow. It affected teachers, support staff, officials and learners. Let us not forget the stress our elder people, our vulnerable, disabled, ordinary parents had to endure during the period of total lockdown. Schools could no longer provide that one meal a day that most of the time the only meal a child received. More and more irresponsible parents leaving their children with grandparents, and so doing placing more pressure on those dear ones we as children of those parents need to take care of. Systems had to be designed and with the snap of a finger implemented with stubborn inequality showed its ugly faces as access to digital technology was like the big wall of China between the education department and the poor and middle class educational groups. But Honourable Chair of Chairs, the department is working. We can clearly see the improvement in learning outcomes. Referring now to the fact that we must not forget the impact of COVID-19 on our parents and the important role parents have to play in the education of their children. Let us be honest with ourselves. Education starts at home. Education doesn't start at school. And the key words that make it work is discipline. Parents must show discipline. Then the children must learn the discipline. They must teach them respect for themselves and for others. They must teach them to be proud in being who they are. Being constant in our discussions, yes is not no, and no is not yes. Parents must be affirmative. They must teach their children honesty. Being motivating parents. We are so inclined as a parent to break down a child when he comes with a less than 50% result at home. You can do better, my child. It's better than say, why did you do so badly? A massive task for disadvantaged parents to achieve. Parents has been in school 10, 15 years back. Perhaps less, yes, definitely. They don't grasp the importance of a parent in the life of a child. With these guidelines, few guidelines, and I'm sure that there are many more ways of how we as parents can support parents and our vulnerable teachers. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, support your teacher of your child, and they will go that extra mile. The 2022-23 budget vote will therefore concentrate on A, equipping learners with knowledge. Feeding them knowledge like chocolates. Teach them skills. That if the day that they cannot teach, they can fix a lamp or they can do plumbing. Assist them to change the world and become proactive within the new sphere and challenges of COVID-19, business actions, honourable guests, take note and print a sticker to stick everywhere to remind you that we all, everyone in this house and everyone out there who is listening, has the power to reboot education. Only if we have the courage to do so and the want to push for good education for our children will we achieve our goal. But not on our own, all of us must work together to make South African education a better sphere, a better space to live in. The better our children are educated now, the better leaders they will be in the future. Perhaps they will understand better the difference between political parties. The Honourable Speaker, the continuous news in the media of misbehaving and even criminal actions of learners by learners has a very stressful effect on parents, as you as parent will never know when you must go and face the principal, the police, or even worse, the parent of a child who have suffered by the actions of your own child. I know that schools has the capacity and the capability and the referring powers to refer parents to the proper doors where they can bring to light their fears. But those fears will only come to light if you as parent take interest in your child's daily actions and routines. Therefore, as it is so heartwarming to take note of the very recent launch of the anti-bullying and anti-racism campaign at schools. It is much appreciated that the Free State Department are taking the safety and well-being of our learners as an important factor of their education. Under Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, PYEI, 1,472 jobs have saved. This on its own is an achievement to celebrate. The saving of one job, I will not go into that. The program made sure that young people were exposed to accredited training programs in the field of child youth care, handyman, IT-related, and other courses. The fact that the department also attended to the empowerment of parents to understand their role as school governing body better is further proof of the seriousness that this Free State Department of Education feels about proper disciplined education. This African National Congress at this point state today clearly that we support this 2022-23 budget fully. ECD, early childhood development, so important. The commitment by the department was further illustrated by the Honourable President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address in 2019 already, as he stated. We have established a strong foundation for an active and inclusive early child development program, forming a serious part of the educational system. Chair of Chairs, Honourable Chair of Chairs, this ship has seen 1,345 funded ECD centres in the Free State being migrated from DSD to BD to DBE, and a total of 64, including a range of qualified officials, including social workers and other skilled officials, to the Department of Education. Pre-grade R. The department now have the opportunity to implement innovative strategies to strengthen foundation learning, looking at continuum from birth to early grades. I want to make a roundabout turn in my debate now and highlight a few acts, and please wear the shoe if it fits. parents are inclined to take teachers in the department for granted. Don't do that. They are the parent for your child away from home. They do not register children at the right time and wait until the last minute before they do so, then run around to find space for their children. At the same time, they accuse the schools and department as incapable of managing their children and call staff incompetent. Is it fair? It's not fair, so don't do it. Very important. Thanks must go to those principals who always are willing to assist me with late requests for admissions. Because people come to me and they ask me to help. That's why I can speak of what I know. I refer this audience to page 8 to 10 of the budget speech of this morning or afternoon. Also available on website, referring to grade R and grades 1 and 7. Honourable guests, please do yourselves a favour and check out where your tax money is going to be spent at education. We welcome the drive behind the participation of the Free State schools to participate in the South African Choral Estate competition. The planned provincial mental maths championship and the language competition where young grade 3 learners will show off their skills in competitions such as spelling, storybook writing, storytelling, and mental maths. And I hope these competitions will be branched out. If you look back in the history of education, where many black learners...
Your time is up, Honourable Smith.
Can I not speak, Honourable Chair of Chairs, on next time? Thank you, sir.
Honourable Klute, you may address the House for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs. Before we start, Honourable MEC, proudly Sotho, proudly Afrikaans, and we're both unapologetically about it. Chair, this year this department will spend more than R1 billion for school infrastructure. So let's talk about school infrastructure. When the MEC was asked about the elusive documents for the edu-schemat R352 million classrooms, the MEC replied, "We need to prove to white people mathematics has no race." How utterly absurd were these words by the MEC in the media. If the MEC had argued that there is too much red tape to complete projects that should benefit our learners as quickly as possible, one might have even agreed. Although we will never know what this project could have cost, or could it have cost less, since the tender documents remain a mystery and the project already appears to be white elephants in many schools, but the MEC played the race card in the Sunday World MEC. The MEC has been in this position for 17 years. Surely he knows that too much or the wrong kind of red tape hinders service delivery. Yes, at least we should have hoped that in some way had discussions on how to fix a problem rather than playing the ANC race card as an excuse, which is, by the way, just as bad as the dog eating my homework. Chair of Chairs, it doesn't end there. And I was perplexed that a mere joke by the advisor to the MEC, Dukwana Mangope Chediso, was very quickly branded by this MEC as racism, sexism, and blatant abuse. This after a Facebook post earlier this year, when Mangope posted his boy started his journey at Grey College. He then criticized SATU, announcing that they will never teach his children. Chair of Chairs, is criticizing SATU now also racist? See, this is what happens when the race card becomes your only weapon. You see the world through a very small and limited lens.
Hang on. What are you raising on, Honourable Member? May you switch your mic on, Honourable Member?
Chairs, I'm lost. I don't know which budget vote is the member debating on, because these are not general debates. We are debating on what has been presented in the House. So what he is referring to about Honorable Member Dugal is not even in this House, which is something that was never mentioned by Honorable Member Titmahwe. We can't turn the debate of vote 6 into a general debate. I request you to rule on each. Thank you.
Thanks very much. The point of order is sustained. Honorable Member, can you kindly confine yourself within what is on the table? Vote 6, education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. As I stated in earlier debates, the money we are spending, although notable, is not paying dividends to our learners. While we should be celebrating the fact that our students came out on top of the rest of the province, the celebrations are stifled by the dark reality that 4 out of 10 of our matrics will not get a job this year. So the 6% increase to 17 million rand for this year's money is well spent on other provinces, even other countries, where our young people will have better opportunities. Back to the languages, MEC and Chair of Chairs. If it's suspected that the MEC spoke Sotho, and it is, then equally, SGBs should be able to decide upon their own language policies. The new Bella Bill aims to destroy that response or that respect, and we need to oppose that. Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs.
You're welcome. Let me also afford Honorable Mapena to address the House for 13 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier in absentia, Honorable members of the legislature, executive members, esteemed guests in here, also outside on the overflow. Baiba Freestata, our people who are on the social media, you are welcomed. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we gather here today to take stock on the achievements and challenges facing our education during this period of democracy, a period where our society is faced with many challenges in marching forward to build a nation, democratic society, exposed on the spirit of Ubuntu, respect, and dignity. Education therefore becomes a key and important in addressing such challenges through building fully socialized individuals in creating a corporate and harmonious society. We need education that is centered upon developing critical, conscious, humanized learners who act to liberate themselves and the world from injustice that's leading to social transformation and cohesion, either education to support and maintain status quo or helping critique and change the reality. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the reality that needs to be changed in province and country in general is fully moved away from the apartheid system of education, which regarded blacks as a heaps and drawers of water, a system that was used to encourage white supremacy and self-hate amongst us as black people. A system that subjected black people to be teachers, nurses, priests, and police, or to be a domestic worker for a white slave queens or their gardeners, in reduced black person to be subhuman in the chain of production. Honorable Chair of Chairs, if the evil apartheid education system was used to affirmation purpose, this means same can be used to transform South Africa society to be a real rainbow nation, a society that applies all manners of creativity in solving their challenges, confronting our society, moving forward to create a prosperous society based on principles of Freedom Charter. We used to express our humble gratitude to efforts made by Honorable MEC Mampudi Waruna, Honorable Tate, office staff, starting from the HOD down to the cleaner, and educators for the strives and commitment they made towards changing the status quo in education, in providing that there in supremacy in education. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we need to acknowledge that without this component of people, also the parents included, we couldn't be where we are. That is why I'm mentioning the HOD down to the cleaner, the parents, the teachers. We are aware that our teachers are also teachers during weekends, during holidays. They are at school, trying to do their best for our children. So that one must be also acknowledged. Our parents at home, we are going to plead with you. Back in our days, how can school or school it's your business. How can I homework but I need not to be part. But everything has changed. And then, but today, dintho di fetohile. Dintho di fetohile, batswadi ba rona, batswadi ba bana e lokela hore ebe part ya ngwana ya ho kena school. Chair of Chairs, the chairperson has raised an important issue here. The important issue ya hore, as parents, ha re se ke ra tloela bana ba ilo kgalemelwa ke matitjhere. Kgalemelo ya ngwana still lies with the parents. Hona le mantswe a sekgowa a reng charity begins at home. You cannot fail ho kgalemela ngwana wa hao ebe o mo isa sekolong lebeletse hore matitjhere a etse ho tswe meneng hore o bo entse jwalo ka motswadi. The number one position we have been holding for several years now did not just come on the silver platter, but was as a result of hard work from those who understand the importance and the role of education in the society. As a result, Free State has become a relatively stable society as compared to the provinces, including the so-called super provinces, which is still in denial that Free State has become a home of education. We should, as we continue to dominate this space, ensure that these results works for the province in the creation of jobs, strengthen career fields like science, technology, medicine, engineering, sports and culture, also, and the agriculture. Honorable Chair of Chairs, kana ko engwe re lebala ho encourage bana ba rona to go for the agriculture. Honorable Chair of Chairs, allow me to tell the House that coming to Hulima, I normally just buy few vegetables. I do them myself. So let us encourage bana ba rona ho tseba ho bapala ka mobu. Ha ke tsebe rona spinach ke boka tropong ke se kha jareteng. So let us not forget to encourage bana ba rona also to consider agriculture as a career. We should, as we continue to dominate this space, ensure that these results work for the province in the creation of jobs. Okay, I've already indicated that. Education should be used to advance democracy and cohesion in a nation building. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we must be like one philosopher who discovered that Cuban education system has produced more doctors than America, and China has also produced more engineers than America. So education could assist us to stand as a nation against all odds. Late former president of both this country and African National Congress, Dr. Rolihlahla Nelson Mandela said, I quote, "Education is most powerful weapon which can use to change the world." Without education, your children can never really meet the challenges they faced. So it is vital to educate and explain that they should play a role in their own country. Karl Marx, I quote, "Necessity is built until it becomes conscious. Freedom is consciousness of necessity." Let us therefore have a system that unlocks the consciousness of young ones to understand the freedom and liberties, to have a brighter generation of leaders who are able to provide answers, not questions. The introduction of Bantu education under Hendrik Verwoerd ensure that blacks are denied access to qualified education system that benefits the aforementioned ascension. It also equipped black with manual labor and menial job skills. Needless to say, secondary schooling were introduced in Soweto in 1970. This weak system of education was only introduced in 1958. Long after colonizing of this country by a prisoner called Jan van Riebeeck, and long after whites were given freedom to access meaningful and quality education system, our government is dealing with this huge backlog created by past evil regime. Hence, most of learners at primary schools drop out. Due to lack of motivation and support from parents whom are still to be convinced about the importance of education, learners from rural areas and farm community still travel long distance and attend school. This is despite the government transport introduced to make this easier to access school. As the ruling party, we need to appreciate an effort made by the department on introducing farm hostel project, which has helped these disadvantaged learners to be closer to schools and have played on their tables every day. However, more needs to be done to accommodate more learners in this noble project. Honorable Chair of Chairs, many school learners are taken out of schooling system because of lack of poor document, either birth certificate, letters from the clinics, which will really prove that she or the child is from South Africa. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the gangsterism communities is also play part in dropout of learners in primary school, as many of them are compelled to force to join these groupings at a very young age. This could with abuse of the tradition practice, which is lebollo. Le sebediswa hampe bana ba rona ba tswa lebollong, they get into this bonkwapo ba mabollo and disrespect setso sa rona jwalo ka batho ba batsho sa mabollo. Honorable Mampudi,
Chair, nako e fedile, your time is
re
up.
ananela
Honourable member.
budget vote ya ha. Thank you, Chair.
There's a slight change on our list. The Speaker has approved that Honourable Msimanga should address the House for 12 minutes.
Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Speaker in absentia, Madam Premier in absentia, Honorable MECs, Member of Provincial Legislature, our distinguished guest, Maticheraro, Kaofela, jolo jwa. Ntumelle ke qotse kapa ke qotsole re qale ka go qotsa and then yo tla be ke qotsole ke batla go qotsa motho ke sa mo tsebe ore the lawyer hopes you get into trouble, doctor hopes you fall sick, the police hopes you become a criminal, coffin maker wants you dead. Only teacher wishes to educate you, liberate you from the bondages of ignorance. So,
Order, Honourable Member.
we are here.
Honourable Member Kabate, order. I think the Speaker has lamented on this matter for quite some time, so I don't think the situation has to repeat itself. What are you raising on, Honourable Member?
I'm raising a point of order that the same action be taken against the Honourable Member Grosstraat that did exactly the same as our.
Thanks very much. We've dealt with this matter, Honourable Msimanga. You may continue.
Thanks, Chair. The reason I'm quoting this is because at all material times when these achievements of high percentages at the epic, it's us politicians who claim this thing, forgetting that the main facilitator of success, the success story of Free State, are the educators. But more importantly, we also have administrators, like your HOD, Ndate Malakwa. He has not been acknowledged. I thought the MEC of Sports, Arts and Culture would have acknowledged him for a long time ago. He's one of the great musicians in South Africa, advocate by profession, and a good administrator of education in this department. Indeed, is administrating it very good. And for that matter, he deserves to be acknowledged for the role that he has been playing and the stability that he has brought in the Department of Education. But moving fast forward, Mampudi, I've been listening, deliberating in Sotho, even though at some point we're struggling to read Sesotho as Nagwenze Tsamaya. But it was quite inspiring when you were doing it in your own vernacular. But it begins to say, one of the greatest challenges that we are facing in the current system is to decolonize the whole of our country, starting with education. Mampudi, nature does not write its laws in English. It will mean that if kids of Afrikaners are able to do maths as vacant in their own language, ours too must transcend whatever the impediments and start doing mathematics. By so doing, it will be much easier with the dipalo ka language yabo. So that's one point I wanted to raise. But despite being a leading province with matric results, we continue to produce lesser numbers of learners who pass matric with bachelors compared to Gauteng. I'm deliberately comparing you to Gauteng to avoid Western Cape, Free State. Gauteng bachelors is 43%. Free State is 39%. Free State distinction is 5,901. Gauteng distinctions is 47,399. This is so revealing that Free State is focusing much on overall pass rate. You are not paying attention to details. Loss of dialectics, quantity into quality. So we must transform this quantity into quality. So this is what must happen. We can't just produce numbers, but these numbers must be quality in order to ensure that at the ultimate end we transform the society successfully. So maybe we must ask ourselves, what is it that Lekhulo secondary school in a poverty-stricken Qwaqwa is doing right, that we can maybe take some lessons from? Because like Free State, Lekhulo is not focusing on huge population, few learners that Lekhulo is focusing more on, but is able to produce 100% and bachelors about 74%. How does Lekhulo get it right? And Tina, we're not getting it right. So let this year be a year where you dedicate the department, HOD, MEC, and teachers to produce, to rise as far as quality is concerned. Because producing a lot of diplomas without bachelors, it simply says these learners might not even reach universities, might not even bathola chance ya access the bursary. So you must help them to access the bursary. But also the other aspect that I think very strongly that we must look into, it's an aspect of vocational training. And I heard you making an emphasis. But it's the very same ANC government that destroyed some of these things. In Letabo, Metsimaholo, we used to have what we call Valkyria College, yeah, where learners will go there when they pass their standard 7, it's grade 9, yeah. They will go and study there, and they become qualified artisans. Some of them are electricians, some of them are mechanical artisans. But I'm telling you, from my area, those whom I know they were schooling there, there's not even a single person who has passed from Valkyria College who's not employed. All of them are employed. All of them, their standard of living has improved. They have improved standard of living of their families. So we must also look into that. Because now my understanding is that universities in the main are meant to produce philosophers. We can't all of us come here and philosophize. So others must also look into those aspects. So as Dudula is trying to disrupt the economy, as they live, if they are to live, you must be having a crop that will make sure that kitty plumbers, all those people, they will be able to assist as far as that thing is concerned. But going back, we still have many of the schools named after our oppressors. And we must be uncompromising when we attend to that. For instance, we still have Kroonstad High School, we still have Botterville High School, we still have Herzog High School, we still have Senegal Primary School, you still have Fixberg Primary School. Just to relate some of these stories, with General Fix and General Senegal, the two generals, ke di generals tene di lelekisa magolokwe morena wa magolokwe morena wetsi ko Qwaqwa ba mo jaella a ba lo a balela lehaeng after ora ba ka dimedi kgomo tsa bo. We can't celebrate such people in a democratic dispensation. MEC in Bothaville, who's Louis Botha is the first prime minister of Union of South Africa that was meant to exclude black people. We can't celebrate such people, MEC. So, moving forward, Kroonstad. Who's Kroon? Kroon ke pere ya Sarel Silas, ele ya gangwa mo dibakeng mo. And this horse, obo rehelwa Kroonstad ka yona. Lona ANC al qeta o kena be le tshintsa fela le re Mqhaka. It was not meant to rebe Mqhaka. You are honoring the horse of Sarel Silas. So these are some of the things. When Osmamiki below on both.
Honorable member.
No, Chair of Chairs. Chair of Chairs, Honorable Member, Sanku Udisaida, which is Honorable Member, ha abuaka di rehelo sa mabiso di pere di kuruone sa kuruon mama ki di beiti se fitilweng ke nako se se re di bue ha ka budget vote ya sports arts culture and recreation, and therefore kopa hore aska isa vote ena ya vote 6 e buang ka thuto ya bana aska yesa a general debate. Thank you very much.
No, thanks very much. The understanding is that he's relating all these names that has to change with education.
Within education system.
Point cannot be sustained. Honorable member, you may continue.
Yeah, she just reminded me that even those ECDs, at least they are now going to the Department of Education. Please, MEC, let it not be that batwale ke batho ba lo re ba lo fepwa dijo fela ba sa lo rutua mo. 2, popotsetsa magwa tse Ausmamiki ana di tlatsitse mo tlamile di phuthuwa aside. Now go transform education batho ba borona ba start ba thola thuto e batlang e hlaphohlaphoetswe. Mamiki, I was saying this thing in a context ya decolonization. We must decolonize even education, even the environment. It needs to be decolonized. It was within that context. So, Honorable MEC, one of those things, you have not honored
a very important stakeholders in a form of these writers tsa Sesotho. Bontate KPD Mapalla, bontate Lani Mokwena. E leng hore le today ba ntse ba kolotwa dipuka tsa bona ke ntho.
Your time is up. No, thanks very much. Let me call upon Honorable Mashineni to address the House for 30 minutes.
Thank you very much, chairs of chairs. Let me start here. Greet all honorable members present here, executive members present here. But I want to start here. Honorable MEC, I hope honorable members here and the Free Staters have learned from what you did. And you actually reminded me about a Rwanda slogan that says, "It starts with me." What you did today is to show the world and the people of the Free State that there is no language that is on top of the other language. To an extent whereby when a person speaks in Sesotho, he is regarded as a person that is not educated. Can't be. So you are reminded, even leadership, to say we've got 11 languages. And let me tell you, in the Free State, the most dominant language is Sesotho. Is Sesotho. Therefore, we can't make other languages, I'm not undermining them, but it must reflect Sesotho. And that's what we did. People, when they say that you have been struggling, Honorable Msimanga, at least tries the best, and it's towards the right direction. And that's what we must do. One of the issues that led to 1976 student uprising, it's exactly this undermining of the other languages. And I think you have revived some of us. So, philosophers have interpreted the world. The challenge is how to change. But I want to add and say the ANC knows how to change, knows exactly how to change. I want to give the honorable member to continue talking. Chair, can you protect me?
Order, honorable members, let's respect the member on the podium.
Philosophers have interpreted the world. The challenge is how to change it. But I want to go further. Is that the ANC knows how to change. The problem, there are people that do not want to change. That's where the crux of the matter is. There are people that are saying, I'm not prepared to change. I was just making those overarching. Speaker, I can see you are back. I want to enter this debate by borrowing from words of Malcolm X. And I quote, open quote, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." Surely, Speaker, these words of Malcolm X suggest to us as the province that we need to prepare and give our young people in the Free State this passport. That's what is a mandate. Give the young people of the province a passport to be able to defend themselves in the future. Defend themselves and be able to enter the mainstream of the economy. Our government, through this Department of Education, is charged with that responsibility of ensuring that you prepare young people that they can enter the mainstream of the economy. And when you do that, you'll be contributing positively towards reducing unemployment and poverty and inequality. That's what you'll be doing. The results, Speaker, of the 2021 matric class, under difficult conditions, says to us, it was hard and hard work. And I want to say to those learners, thank you very much. Despite all odds, you made the province proud. I want to say to those teachers, despite all odds, you pull it through and you still remain the number one. Sometimes, the mistake that we do, we don't give where it is due to give recognition. We don't do that. We just simply refuse. But when people have done good, stand up. Whether you are in opposition or not, but stand up and congratulate and say, well done to this thing that you have done. Let me quickly go to the matric results. That's what I wanted to speak to. And I'm talking about this matter against the background that when more and more Africans are passing their matrics, all of a sudden an element of quality comes in. It's just like, let me say this matter, it's just like when an African is rich, there is always concern to say it's a thief. But when a white South African is rich, you'll never hear that. Kanjani. Kanjani. We are not, and I'm not raising this matter on the basis of race. I'm just saying it's a matter that all of us must stand up and face. Otherwise, we are running the risk of undermining other South Africans that do have the same right to live in this country. 85%, 85.7%. And being the number one leader for 3 consecutive years, it has never happened in the past. And why do we always have to make comparison? It's because in any walks of life, a human being, an institution always aspires to do better. And this department, carrying the mandate of the African National Congress, aspires to do better. It is an open secret that they have remained number one for 3 consecutive years. Awuzoyisusa ke lonto. Izawuhlala injalo. Noma ikubeka kabubi ufila otherwise, ayizochinja. It will be like that. So let me raise what I've raised in the other debate. Mhlekazi andinawuthi makhwi, I will say mahwe. Qhuba mhlekazi. Ndifuna lento lokuthi umuntu nakayenza kakuhle kuthiwe makaqhube, it must sink into your mind. Unashamedly so, because we are sick and tired about people that want to take the country backward. No, the country must proceed and do good things. Look at the numbers of learners who wrote matric. I don't want to go there, you have dealt with it. Look at them. There is an improvement done of the learners that have passed. The numbers are there. So because you pursue a narrative that seeks to undermine good work, you'll always say quality. The quality ibe khona in the past when our young people were forced to learn with Africans. It was quality at that time. Now when you say these are, that's why I'm saying, using the language, don't turn back, proceed with that. In fact, we must be exemplary. You must feel free to come here and talk in Afrikaans. That's why there are interpreters. But now I have learned one thing. I have learned one thing. If you go to a nation, if you are part of a particular nation, and you can't speak the language that is dominant in that, you are the one that is disadvantaged. By the way, language is a medium of communication. You must be able. Je kan me vra, no. Ek kan Afrikaans praat. What's your problem? Not even raising one single Sotho language. You have a serious problem. And what type of example are you setting to the people? But you forget that during the elections, you go to these Africans and call them to support you when you cannot even utter a single word in Sesotho. I leave it at that. So, the numbers of learners that wrote matric also shot up. They went up. That's not a joke. It shows that we are making progress. And it must be acknowledged. That's what you must stand up here and say, we acknowledge there is progress on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Including, and I've heard honorable member that he was here, producing the bachelors. Let me put it this way. When you compare it, Honorable Msimang, with Gauteng, can you please compare it what happened in the past? So as to gauge whether you are making progress or not. And when you compare it in the past, it will show you that there is progress here. Give a due where it is necessary. Don't hide it. Don't play otherwise. Just keep it there. Focus on technical and vocational guidance. Good work. By the way, you prepare that student to enter the mainstream of the economy. Now I've learned one thing. If that child is able to know and understand parts of the engine of a motor car, that student, once he gone through and obtained the certificate, excellent person. By the way, that's one of the reasons whereby some of the students were sent to Germany. You know very well, Honorable Mahwe, is to make them to be able to deal with that matter. So, vocational guidance, extremely important. Thumbs up. We agree with that one. The robotics, fourth industrial revolution, excellent. Make them to enter the mainstream of the economy. In the past, mo baneng ba sa kgathalle teng ha mo Africa ane a kena sekolong ho thwa don't educate this person, because tomorrow he will become clever and he will take over from you. So robotics is the world that is going there. Prepare the student. Tablets, it has never happened in the past that you are putting in. Excellent. Speaker, the budget vote, we support it. And Honorable Tate Mahwe. With those few words, philosophers have interpreted the world. The challenge is how to change. But we have the right. We can change. Thank you very much.
Honorable Peter Wayne.
Thank you, Honourable Madam Speaker. Before I start, here we are today debating the future of our children. But all the previous speakers at this podium pulled race into the matter. Why? Who spoke about bad quality of our education? I think our education has got excellent quality. I don't know why people preempt what a person will say and then try and run with that, but let's start. Honourable Speaker, firstly, let me start by congratulating the matric class of 2021, who managed to achieve outstanding results despite very difficult COVID-19 regulations. The Free State retained the top spot nationally. Well done, matrics of last year, their parents, teachers, grandparents, guardians, the Department of Education, the HOD, all the staff, and of course, the MEC, Honourable Tait Makgoe, well done once again. I said this last year, and I'll say it again, well done. I attended the well done function, although once again, unfortunately, not invited, even though I'm a member of the education portfolio. It was wonderful to see the spirit amongst the top 100 matrics. Madam Speaker, I'm sorry, I can't concentrate if there's...
Honourable members, can you please not comment? Please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We said we must not interrupt. What you are saying might be positive, you are saying as kids, but remember, no comments while the speaker is on the podium. Proceed, Honourable Member.
It was wonderful to see the spirit amongst the top 100 matrics. Everyone was so proud, the school principals were proud, you could see them beaming. I looked around for the parents, but was informed they were not invited. Such a pity that they weren't allowed to share this prestigious occasion with their children. Then the Honourable Makgoe took to the stage with the Tina Turner song and danced to and sang to Simply the Best. I tapped to the beat, as I was also immensely proud of the achievement of this class of 2021. The MEC announced with big fanfare that all the top 100 students would receive bursaries. You could see the relief and joy amongst them. Many didn't know how they would finance their studies. But then, Madam Speaker, reality struck. I was contacted by the parents of no less than 36 of the top 100 students to inform me the problem of the U-turn on the bursaries. Students and parents crying and pleading for assistance. Students come from advantaged backgrounds, rely solely on bursaries for meals, accommodation, in tuition fees. These top students work and contribute to the Free State's top position. They deserve these bursaries. How can such a big promise, one that determines your future, just be, what do we call it, withdrawn, cancelled, terminated? These students worked hard and their dreams are now shattered. This trend is indicative of a government that makes empty promises, but in reality lacks the political will and capacity to rectify that has become the dire situation in this province. In correspondence with the Honourable Premier and at the promise would be, as I stand, they have these students are losing their place at the learning institute. They cannot pay. Young, my favourite 70s, that Little Lies. Through you, on the song, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies, tell me lies, tell me lies. Our Free State people are definitely the best, but their government must find a different song to sing to. Madam Speaker, I will unpack the truth about the learners who were supposed to be part of the class of 2021. In 2019, 60,937 learners wrote the Grade 10 exam. Of these learners, only 35,055 wrote the matric exam in 2021. 25,882 That's how many students in the Free State dropped out between 2019 and 2021. This year, the dropout rate for the Free State is 42.5%. This is the second largest dropout rate in the country after the Northern Cape. And this gives the Free State a real matric pass rate of 43%. Where are these young people now, Madam Speaker? What will happen to them? How will they survive? What does their future look like? The DA is highly concerned with the trend of learners dropping out, and we will continue to place pressure on the department to put effective monitoring measures in place that will ensure a truly bright future in the Free State for our children. New research indicates that the pandemic has led to a 20-year school dropout record. The latest National Income Dynamics study on the coronavirus rapid mobile survey has been released, and it's heartbreaking. And the negative effects that the pandemic had on the national schooling